My wife's affair partner's wife just called me. Neither of us knew about the affair. We compared notes, and they've been lying to both of us for 8 months. We're meeting tomorrow to decide how to confront them. They work together and have been using business trips as cover. I'm 41M, and I'm sitting in my car writing this because I can't go back inside my house right now. My entire marriage just imploded via a phone call from a complete stranger, and I don't know what to do with this information. 3 hours ago, a woman named Lauren called my cell. She introduced herself as the wife of my wife's coworker, Greg. I knew who Greg was. My wife, Rachel, mentions him occasionally. They work together at the same marketing firm. I'd never met him or his wife. Lauren said, "I'm really sorry to bother you, but I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Are Rachel and Greg having an affair?" I laughed. Actually laughed. Told her no. That was ridiculous. Rachel and I have been married for 15 years. We have 2 kids. She wouldn't do that. Lauren said, "Okay, can I ask you something else then? Where was Rachel last weekend?" I said she was in Chicago for a work conference, 3 days, Thursday through Saturday. She does these a few times a year. It's part of her job. Lauren said, "Greg told me he was in Denver for a conference, Thursday through Saturday." Then she said, "I found a receipt in his jacket pocket from a hotel in Nashville, dated last Friday." My stomach dropped. I said, "Nashville?" Lauren said, "Yes, Nashville, Tennessee. A hotel receipt for a king room, 2 nights. Checked out Saturday morning." I told Lauren to hold on, went in my office and pulled up our credit card statements. Started going through Rachel's charges from last weekend. Hotel in Nashville, dinner at a restaurant in Nashville, parking in Nashville. All the charges Rachel told me were from Chicago were actually for Nashville. I got back on the phone, told Lauren what I'd found. We were both quiet for a minute. Then Lauren said, "I think we need to talk. In person. Can you meet me tomorrow?" I said yes. We're meeting at a coffee shop at 10 a.m. Neutral territory. We both agreed not to confront our spouses until we'd compared notes and figured out exactly what we're dealing with. After we hung up, I just sat in my car going through months of credit card statements. Business trips to Atlanta that were actually to Miami. A conference in Boston that was actually in Austin. Work dinners that happened in cities she wasn't supposed to be in. 8 months. At least 8 months of lies that I can document. Probably longer. I don't know how I missed it. Rachel's travel schedule has always been heavy. I never question it because it's been that way for years. She's senior management. She goes to conferences and client meetings. That's normal. Except apparently sometime in the last year, normal business travel became cover for an affair with a married coworker. I came back inside about an hour ago. Rachel was making dinner. Asked me where I'd been. I said I'd gotten a work call and needed to take in the car. She didn't question it. We ate dinner with our kids, helped them with homework. Normal evening routine. Rachel has no idea I know anything. She's currently watching TV in the living room like everything's fine. I can't look at her. Every time I do, I think about her in a hotel room with someone else, planning these trips, lying about where she was, coming home and kissing me hello like she'd actually been in Chicago. I don't know what I'm going to do. Lauren and I are meeting tomorrow to go through everything. She's been gathering evidence too. Text she found on Greg's phone, credit card charges, calendar entries that don't match up. We're going to figure out the extent of this thing and then decide how to confront them. Together, probably, make it so they can't lie or gaslight us individually. I feel numb, angry, betrayed, but also weirdly calm. Like I'm watching this happen to someone else. Our kids are 12 and 9. They have no idea. I need to keep it together for them while I figure this out. Tomorrow morning, I'm meeting a stranger whose husband is sleeping with my wife. We're going to plot how to blow up both our marriages. This is insane. Update, the meeting. I met Lauren this morning. I got there first, ordered coffee, sat in the back corner. She walked in 10 minutes later. I recognized her immediately from her Facebook profile picture. Tall blonde, looked tired. We didn't waste time on pleasantries. She pulled out her laptop and a folder of printed documents. I had my tablet with credit card statements and phone records for 2 hours. We pieced together the affair timeline. It was worse than either of us thought. It started at least 10 months ago, not 8. Lauren found texts going back to January. My credit card record showed business trips that matched up with Greg's supposed travel dates starting in February. They'd been to Nashville twice, Miami 3 times, Austin once, Phoenix once, New Orleans twice, all under the guise of work travel. Lauren showed me texts from Greg's phone. He'd been careless about deleting them. Messages about missing each other, planning the next trip, complaints about their spouses. Rachel apparently complained to him that I was too comfortable and not exciting anymore. That was fun to read. Greg told Lauren things like she was too focused on the kids, and he felt neglected. Classic affair script. The most damning evidence was calendar overlaps. Every single trip where Rachel told me she was traveling for work, Greg had told Lauren he was traveling too. Same dates. Always to different cities than they told us. They'd been coordinating their lies. Lauren found receipts for jewelry I'd never seen Rachel wear. I found charges for expensive dinners in cities. During trips where Rachel had said she was too busy with meetings to go out. We sat there looking at 10 months of documented deception. Hotel rooms, flights, dinners, gifts, thousands of dollars spent on their affair while telling their families they were working. Lauren said, I want to confront them together, at your house or mine, both of them in the same room, so they can't coordinate a story. I agreed. We decided on tonight, my house. Lauren would tell Greg she needed him to come with her to discuss something with neighbors. I'd tell Rachel we needed to talk about something important. We get them both there and lay it all out. Lauren looked at me and said, are you going to try to save your marriage? I said I honestly didn't know. She said she didn't either. That was the first time either of us showed emotion. We've been so focused on evidence and logistics that we hadn't dealt with feelings yet. I went home after our meeting. Rachel was already back from dropping the kids at school. She asked how my morning was. I said fine. She said hers was good. She got a lot done. I nodded. Went to my office. Started calling divorce attorneys for consultations next week, just in case. Tonight at 7 p.m., Lauren and Greg are coming over. Rachel thinks it's about a neighborhood thing. She has no idea what's about to happen. I moved our kids to my parents' house for the night. Told Rachel my mom wanted quality time with them. She didn't question it. In 3 hours, this all comes out. I'm surprisingly calm. Maybe I'm in shock. Maybe I'm just ready to stop living a lie. Update, the confrontation. I don't even know where to start. Last night was the worst night of my life. Lauren and Greg showed up at 7 p.m. like we planned. Rachel answered the door, confused about why my neighbors were our coworker Greg and his wife. I was in the living room. Motioned for everyone to come in. Rachel looked at me. What's going on? I said, sit down. Both of you need to sit down. Greg already looked nervous. Rachel looked confused. They sat on the couch. Lauren and I stayed standing. I said, Lauren and I spent the last 24 hours comparing notes. We know about the affair. We know about Nashville and Miami and Austin and every other city. We have receipts, texts, credit card statements. So nobody's lying their way out of this room. The looks on their faces. Rachel went completely white. Greg started stammering. Lauren held up her hand and said, don't. We're not here for your excuses. We're here to tell you what happens next. Rachel tried to speak. I cut her off. 10 months, Rachel. At minimum, 10 months. Business trips that were actually affairs. Lying to me every single time. Coming home and acting like everything was normal. Greg looked at Lauren. Can we talk about this at home? Lauren said, no. You lost the right to private conversations when you spent 10 months in hotel rooms with his wife. We're doing this here now, together. For the next hour, Lauren and I went through everything. Every trip, every lie, every charge. We had it all printed out. Dates, locations, amounts, evidence of hotel rooms and dinners and gifts. Rachel cried. Greg tried to explain. They gave us the usual affair garbage. Didn't mean for it to happen. It just developed. They were unhappy. They made mistakes. I asked Rachel point blank, do you love him? She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. She said, I don't know. It's complicated. I said, it's not complicated. Do you love him? She said, maybe yes, I think so. That was it. That was the moment my marriage actually ended. Not when I found out about the affair, but when she admitted she loved him. Greg was panicking at this point, telling Lauren it didn't mean anything, that Rachel didn't mean anything, that he loved Lauren and wanted to fix their marriage. Rachel looked hurt that Greg was downplaying their relationship. They started bickering with each other about whose feelings were more real. It would have been funny if it wasn't my life falling apart. Lauren cut them off, said, here's what's happening. Greg, I'm filing for divorce. I'm taking the kids and you're moving out tomorrow. Don't bother coming home tonight. Figure out. She looked at me. I said, Rachel, I'm also filing for divorce. I want you out of the house by the end of the week. You can stay with your sister or your parents or Greg or whoever. I don't care, but you're not staying here. Rachel started begging, saying we could work through this. We could go to counseling. She'd end it with Greg. I said no. I was done. She'd had 10 months to choose our marriage. She chose Greg instead. Greg tried to appeal to Lauren. She wasn't hearing it. She stood up, looked at me, and said, I'll be in touch about the legal stuff. Good luck with everything. Then she walked out, just left Greg sitting there. Greg looked panicked, looked at Rachel, then at me. He said I should go. I said, yeah, you should. He left. It was just me and Rachel. She was crying, asking how I could throw away 15 years over a mistake. I said it wasn't one mistake. It was hundreds of lies over 10 months. Every trip, every night she came home and pretended nothing was wrong. Every time she kissed me while carrying on with someone else, she tried to hug me. I stepped back, told her to pack a bag and leave tonight. She could come back for the rest of her stuff later when we arranged it. She packed. Took about an hour. I stayed in the living room. Didn't help. Didn't say goodbye. She left around 10 p.m. I haven't seen her since. That was last night. Today, I called a divorce attorney. Have a consultation Monday morning, call my parents and told them everything. They're keeping the kids through the weekend while I process this. Lauren texted me this morning, said Greg showed up at her house at midnight begging to talk. She wouldn't let him in. He's been staying with his brother. She asked how I was doing. I said numb. She said same. We agreed to stay in touch since we're going through this together. Rachel has texted 15 times today, apologizing, begging for a chance to explain, saying she made a huge mistake. I haven't responded. My attorney said not to engage directly. My brother came over tonight, brought beer and pizza. We didn't talk about Rachel, just watched sports and pretended life was normal for a few hours. I needed that. I have to tell my kids tomorrow. They're going to ask where Mom is. I don't know what to say yet. How do you tell a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old that their mom was cheating and now we're getting divorced? I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm relieved. Is it weird to say? Part of me is relieved because now I know. The lies are over. I'm not being gaslit anymore. It's awful, but at least it's honest awfulness. Lauren and I are meeting Tuesday to discuss how to handle the kids and logistics going forward. We're unintentionally co-processing this nightmare together. Final update. 3 months later. It's been 3 months since everything happened. Figured I owed a final update since people have been checking in. The divorce is moving forward. Should be finalized in about 2 more months. Rachel and I are splitting everything 50-50. I'm keeping the house. She's getting a cash payout for her half of the equity. Kids are with me during the week, with her on weekends. She found an apartment about 15 minutes away. Rachel and Greg are still together. They're actually living together now. Once both marriages blew up, they figured they might as well stop hiding. My kids have met him. I hate it, but there's nothing I can do about it. They're respectful enough to not act coupley around the kids. At least, telling the kids was the hardest thing I've ever done. My daughter cried. My son got angry. They both asked if it was their fault. Had to explain that sometimes adults make bad choices and it has nothing to do with their kids. I don't think they fully believe that yet, but we're working on it. They both seeing a child psychologist to help process the divorce. My daughter's been having some anxiety issues. My son's been acting out at school. It's rough, but we're managing. Rachel tried to explain herself several times. Sent me long emails about how the affair started, how she didn't mean to hurt me, how it just happened gradually. I didn't read most of them. My attorney has them, saved in case we need them for the divorce proceedings. She wanted to try counseling. I said no. She'd had 10 months to be honest with me. I'm not interested in reconciliation. Lauren and I have stayed in touch. We meet for coffee every couple weeks to vent and compare notes on divorce progress. We become friends in this weird, trauma-bonded way. She's actually dating someone new, a guy from her gym. Good for her. Her divorce is nearly finalized too. Greg fought for joint custody, but given the affair's circumstances and his instability, Lauren got primary custody with him getting every other weekend. He's paying substantial child support. Greg apparently tried to blame Lauren for the affair. Said she neglected him emotionally. Lauren's attorney destroyed that argument with evidence of him initiating the affair while Lauren was handling all the household and childcare duties. Judges don't like cheaters who blame their victims. The kids and I are doing okay. We have a new routine. I learned to cook better. We do family game nights on Fridays. I've been more present than I was during the marriage. Honestly, silver lining, I started dating last month. Nothing serious, just coffee dates here and there. It's weird dating at 41 after 15 years of marriage. But it's also kind of exciting. I'm remembering what it's like to talk to someone who actually wants to be there. Rachel's not happy about me dating. She texted asking if I was seeing someone. I didn't respond. My attorney said I don't owe her any information about my personal life. We're separated, filing for divorce, and she's literally living with her affair partner. My dating life isn't her business. My parents have been amazing. They watch the kids when I need time to handle divorce stuff or just decompress. They never liked Rachel much anyway, and now they're not pretending otherwise. Work has been fine. People know I'm going through a divorce, but I haven't shared details. It's nobody's business. I focus on my job, take care of my kids, and move forward. Financial stuff is being sorted. Rachel wants more than she's entitled to, but that's what lawyers are for. We'll figure it out. The house is mine, my retirement accounts are protected, and I make more than she does. I'll be fine financially. Emotionally, I have good days and bad days. Good days I feel free and optimistic about the future. Bad days I'm angry and bitter about wasted years and broken trust, but even the bad days are better than living with lies. The weirdest part is not being angry at Lauren. We could have blamed each other or been awkward, but instead we became allies. She's a good person who got screwed over by her husband. We helped each other survive this nightmare. People ask if I saw signs I missed. Honestly, maybe. Rachel was on her phone a lot. She was particular about her business trip packing. She was distant sometimes, but I trusted her. You don't assume your wife is cheating just because she's busy with work. Trust is the foundation of marriage. Rachel destroyed that foundation. There's no rebuilding from that level of betrayal and deception. Some mutual friends have taken Rachel's side, saying affairs happen, people make mistakes. I should forgive her for the kids' sake. I've cut those people out of my life. Real friends don't expect you to accept betrayal in the name of maintaining appearances. My kids are adjusting. They don't love the split households, but they're managing. My daughter asked if Rachel and I would ever get back together. I said no. She accepted that better than I expected. Rachel asked me last week if I'd ever forgive her. I said maybe eventually, but forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. She made choices for 10 months. Every day, for 10 months, she chose to continue the affair. Those were deliberate choices, not one mistake. I'm not the villain for refusing to accept that. Greg and Rachel's relationship probably won't last. According to Lauren, affairs rarely survive in daylight. They had the excitement of sneaking around and forbidden romance. Now, they have bills and logistics and the reality of being together. Lauren gives them a year, maybe 2. I don't care either way. They're not my problem anymore. I'm building a new life, better life. Honestly, one based on honesty and self-respect. My kids are learning what healthy boundaries look like. That's more valuable than pretending a broken marriage is intact. Lauren texted yesterday, saying Greg and Rachel are fighting a lot. Apparently, the reality of their situation is hitting them. They destroyed 2 families for a relationship that was more fantasy than reality. I didn't respond. Not my circus. This whole experience taught me that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the best thing for your future. If Lauren hadn't called me, I'd still be married to someone who was actively betraying me. I'd still be trusting someone who didn't deserve it. Now I'm free, single dad with 2 great kids, a good job, a house I love, and a future that's mine to build however I want. Rachel chose Greg. I chose self-respect. 3 months ago, I thought my life was ending. Turns out it was just beginning. And that's the end of this story. Rachel and Greg have each other and the consequences of their choices. Lauren and I have our freedom and our kids and the satisfaction of not being anyone's fool. I'd say we got the better deal.